I was actually looking on Reddit. I can't remember what I screenshot. Oh, now I remember. There was somebody on there that posed a question. This was in the public health or the public health career section. For anyone that works at CDC or HHS, if you're not sure what that is, just go look it up. It's related to public health. How are things over there? And one of the moderators immediately disabled the comments and said, "We're disabling the comments. If anyone wants to talk about their experience, please reach out directly so we can assure anonymity." So why would they do that? First of all, they don't want to be responsible for anyone getting fired. A couple little birdies that work over there have said that they have hired and brought in all these fresh out of college people that are walking around in suits, just monitoring people, monitoring their computers, monitoring all kind of stuff. That are still working over there. And they've gotten rid of the scientists, the doctors, nurses, people that are involved in research, microbiologists, veterinarians, dentists, doctors, osteopaths, physical therapists, respiratory therapists, some of the nurses that were there, the health scientists, the biologists, everyone that's involved in research. And they have people that are, you might have a supervisor and their admin person. You have the supervisor and the admin person, a supervisor and a secretary, a supervisor or a bookkeeper. Okay? What are they there for? They've gotten rid of all the scientists. And if you look online, you'll see there's one company that I noticed. I'm just thinking of one right now, okay? Seneca Holdings. It's a company, a holding company, and it is owned by the Seneca Nation. So they have job openings. And there's been some other places. That's just the one that I could think of. That's the one, but there's other companies, not just Seneca Holdings. And when you look on there, it's pretty impressive. Just go look at it and you'll see a lot of the public health openings. The company that I work for, the contract company, they had so many public health openings. That's where I actually got my job. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I look on there, they don't have any job openings in public health anymore. I have a lot of empathy for people that are currently going to school for public health and getting out right now. And if you go on Reddit, you will look and see, they'll say things like, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm concerned, I'm this. Will I be able to find a job? This. How can I break in and get an internship? Some of them are changing plans. One of them asked me, and I said, honestly, if I was you, I would find some kind of terminal degree that you could go back to community college and get something in. You already have science classes, maybe go look for something where you can get it for 2 years. Or if you already have that degree, see if you can get into an accelerated program. Go become a physician assistant. Maybe go into nursing, respiratory therapy. I would look into, if you're in a state where they're not very progressive, I would look into places where they're part of the alliances. Now, there are certain places on the East Coast that are forming public health alliances. I would look there. I don't have the list of all the places. Now, if you're going to the West Coast, you have California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii. a lot of those expensive places, but they also have one on the East Coast of the United States. Just type in what current states are in public health alliances, and those are the places that I would go to. I say this because the CDC, the director that they got rid of because she wanted to follow the science, also this other medical director and this other person that had a grassroots efforts organization, they're all working with in California. So if you are in public health, I would be gravitating towards those states that are part of those alliances, because they're going to be relying on the science and coming up with the recommendations. All right, I'm sorry. I started looking at swimsuit cover-ups when I need to be in this gym so I could have a swimsuit body. And how you have a swimsuit body on, I was listening to this lady, she's like, how you have a swimsuit body is to put on a swimsuit, basically. Anyway, what I was talking about, and let me turn on the air a little bit. Companies are going to look out for themselves. That's a recurring thing. That's a recurring theme. That's one thing that I've learned when you do contract. You are a hired, I don't want to say tool, but when it gets down to it, that's what it gets down to. Even if it's a great company, that's what you're there for. The only way you can have relatively true autonomy is to completely own your own business. And that comes with its restraints too. Something that I learned is you can, on some of the AI platforms, if you're going in for an interview and you're the type of person where you want some practice, you could go on there and let them know what kind of interview you're interviewing for, put the job description in there, and ask the AI to ask you interview questions. If you've never done that before, it's really helpful. And then you type in the responses that you were going to say. Make sure that it's natural, how you would speak, and then it gives you feedback and some suggestions. You can do that. You don't have to go hire a interview coach or a career coach, especially when you're getting out of college. You can do just about anything on AI. So I'm like, that's interesting. That's what's been going on with my semi-retirement journey. It doesn't seem very appropriate right now to encourage people to leave their jobs right now. It's really not. And I did do an interview on this channel where it talks about quitting jobs and leaving toxic jobs. It just seems not very appropriate right now to talk to people about how I quit a job when there's people that are looking for jobs. Yeah, look after yourself. But if you're in a situation where you're going to be having to leave or retire, especially retire before you want to, I guess I could be an example of it's okay, I'm at peace. There's a lot of things that, that I want, but sometimes, is that really the best thing for me to want? Comparison is a thief of joy. I have a lot more quiet time, and I cherish that because I remember when I was on the job, even though I was making more money, I just really didn't have time for my mind to be quiet. And I'm learning the importance of peace right now. Like yesterday, I wasn't working. My grandson said, hey, let's play with Play-Doh. I was rested enough not to be thinking about this or that, or, you know, what happened when I came in from work. I could sit there and be present with him and enjoy playing with Play-Doh. And, and I said, this is really relaxing. I could have been doing this all along. And then my daughter-in-law was able to do some straightening up and take. She's like, well, since y'all are enjoying, I said, I actually am enjoying myself. Maybe I was getting the Play-Doh because I wanted to play with the Play-Doh, and I'm using my grandson as an excuse to play with Play-Doh. I want to go get some more. They have somewhere you can do all kind of stuff. And my grandson enjoys it, and I think he enjoys it a lot more than my kids did, because I don't remember my kids enjoying Play-Doh like that. They, when he gets off of preschool, I'm going to be able to spend time with him. I'm grateful. Would I like to be off on a beach right now? Yeah, but that's going to happen eventually. That's why I have a trip set up, and I'll put money on it. And then that way, when I go there, it'll be completely paid for. Yeah. It's okay to wait for things that. Or maybe we went to Savannah or with my family for a weekend, or we went to Atlanta. My daughter went to some conventions, and we would get a hotel. We would stay there, go there early before the convention and stay there the entire week and enjoy the scenery. Those are the kind of things I did. But one thing I did do was, both of my children, my son went to Europe when he was his junior year in high school. My daughter went to Europe her freshman year of high school, and then she turned around again and went a second time when she was in college. So my children have been able to travel, and I'm looking forward to be able to have that experience too. I put children in, um, my son in braces, my daughter was in braces twice. So when you're doing that much stuff for your family, obviously you're not going to be able to travel around and do things when I was unplanned to become a single parent. I have to prioritize. Yeah, I'm at peace right now.